Hey everybody, welcome to Square State. I'm your host, Michelle Jackson, and I am so excited to be sharing new episodes. I've got some amazing interviews, things coming up. Just happy to be back. This is the first of a four-part series that is, I don't know what I want to call it, but they're a series of letters that I've decided to write to different people who run the state of Colorado. The first one is to the mayor of Denver, Mayor Michael Hancock. The next one will be to Governor Polis. The next one to the House of Representatives, just basically the people who represent our state and help represent the citizens of the state. And the final episode will be to the citizens of the state of Colorado. This episode is sponsored by the Money on the Mountain Financial Retreat, a financial retreat for financially single women. If you are a financially single woman who wants to talk about all things money from that perspective, you don't have coupled up money, you must attend this event. It will be happening this October 2019 at the Source Hotel here in beautiful Denver, Colorado. Colorado participants do get a special discount, so definitely you want to get on those tickets. And the early bird ticket sales end at the end of July. The show is also sponsored by the Epic Guide to Moving to Colorado. If you're thinking about moving to Colorado, check out this resource. You can go to the show notes at squarestateco.com/Denver Mayor to get access to everything mentioned in this episode. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to be talking about, the state of Denver, Colorado in particular. So I decided to write a letter to our mayor, our new old mayor, about what is going well in Denver, what is not, and the things to consider as we move forward. Here we go. Dear Mayor Hancock, congratulations on winning a third mayoral term. We all know that it wasn't easy and that you were left a bit bruised and battered by the experience, but not defeated. I thought that I would use the good, bad, good approach for my comments in this episode, so here it goes. I love how vibrant Denver has become. Denver is a city that feels like anything is possible. If we dream it, there seems to be a resource, community, or tool to nurture our big ideas. Some examples of this include Denver Startup Week, a free week of locally led programming, education, and opportunities to connect with local businesses throughout the city, state, and beyond our state's borders. House of Pod, an incredible resource that nurtures Colorado-based podcast voices. It always seems like podcasters are from the coast, which is not the case. And the fabulous Kat Jaffe created the House of Pod to nurture voices here in the state of Colorado and beyond. So love the House of Pod, and I was just a mentor for a podcast incubator from the margins to the center for women of color, primarily who live in the city of Denver. The Commons on Champa, an amazing free co-working space that supports startup entrepreneurs. So anytime I feel like I dream of something, I know that there's a space, community, or just people who believe that I can too, and it's awesome. There's also the food incubator, which I always forget the name of it, in Boulder. If you have a food concept or idea, where they help you really figure out how to get it in front of people, how to grow the concept, and how to nurture that food-based dream. That's why there's so many food businesses that come out of Boulder. It's not a coincidence. And I'll try to figure out the name of that organization. The other thing that I love about Denver is we always have a party. It feels like there's always something fun to do or to celebrate. Anything from the stock show to winning the Super Bowl, Pride, Denver Greek Festival, the Black Arts Festival, Taste of Puerto Rico, the dragon boat races. Like there's so many things that literally I can't keep up with all the ways we can have fun. Frozen Dead Guy Days in Netherlands, which I feel like not enough people know about, the ice sculptures in Breckenridge and at the end of January. Like, there's so many things. It just would take a lifetime to experience. And my goal is to try to experience them all. And I've done a pretty good job so far. Basically, Denver just is a lot of fun, and it feels like a lot of fun. There's so much work here and opportunity. It feels like opportunity abounds if you've got an idea on how to kind of get in front of it and leverage it and connect with the opportunities to grow what you're doing, or to be hired on with an amazing team of people doing things that are in alignment with what you are excited about. However, with all of that said, there are some problems, and we need to talk about them. Like many cities in the United States, Denver has a homeless problem. I can only speak on how I'm experiencing it here because I live here. But here's some real talk. The problem has gotten bad, and it's almost gotten kind of scary, actually. There are places in Denver that I completely avoid, and especially depending on the time of day, what I'm doing, if I'm with someone, whether or not I will go to those places. And yeah, I'm going to name them. There's a feeling, I think, that you can just be in Denver and just be. And that's not wrong, but we are not dealing with this problem. We're not serving the homeless population well. We're not getting them in front of opportunities, and there's plenty of them here. We're not dealing with their mental, emotional stress. You can see that there are a lot of people struggling, and I just don't know what to do. I avoid the Union Station early in the morning. It's the RTD Union Station, crown jewel of our transportation hub. There are people sleeping in there all night long. I don't want to go to the bathroom in there. They had to change the doors because people were shooting up. The area in between the Capitol and the city and county building, it's gotten crazy. You drive by and they're just people just sleeping in front of the Capitol. The main branch of the Denver Public Library, we've already heard about that one. It's unbelievable. Now, by the way, I am in no way saying that people don't have the right to be. They have the right to be. They have the right to exist. They have the right to be unmolested as they live their lives. However, I feel that also, includes people who are trying to exist in those spaces too. Do you know what I mean? Like, we all have that right. And I feel that we're all being infringed upon in some sort of way. Now, people will be like, oh, Michelle, good gracious. I'm like, we have a lot of money in this state. There's no reason why we can't help people so that they can live dignified, safe, productive, happy lives. But in order to do that, we've got to approach this from a different perspective. It's what we're doing isn't working. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. What we're doing isn't working. The problem's gotten worse. And I don't know what the mayor and his team can do about that. He's going to have to coordinate with the governor, other states. But what I can say is, in a city that has plenty of work and opportunities, there's something there for people. We need to help people connect with those opportunities. Likewise, there is this problem connected to homelessness. Holy crap, housing is expensive. Now, by the way, the homeless situation and the housing situation, those are so big, those topics, that those are two completely different episodes, right? Like, I could spend, honestly, a year just talking about homelessness in Colorado. I could spend a year talking about housing in Colorado. And I am not, it is not lost on me that housing is a huge issue for people and why they are becoming displaced. in addition to people coming here just to hang out. For those people who are in love with our state, who are trying to be productive, who are trying to just better their lives, who are trying to work, but they can't find affordable housing, that's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. And I know that in observing other states, it's not specific to Denver, but again, I live here, so I can only talk about how I experience it here. The next issue, Mayor Hancock, and this one's been bugging me, Denver is dirty. Ugh. So Denver used to just be so clean, and I'm going to asterisk this. Part of the reason why Denver is dirty is because we actually use our downtown. So I've been to other cities like Dallas where no one's downtown, and it seems like there are little cute elves who pop up in the middle of the night and clean the streets at night, and then you wake up and only the commuters are there, and then they get the hell out. Denver is not that kind of city. We actively use our city. I love that everything is hubbed in the downtown area. Actually, I think it's brilliant. I love that the transportation is hubbed downtown. I love that we have easy access to Mile High, to the Pepsi Center, to Coors Field, to Milk Market Denver, and just to different things that happen downtown. Denver Civic Center Eats, Civic Center Moves, all the things. I love that. However, what happens is because we're using these areas so much, they get dirty. And the amazing team of people that have been hired to clean downtown, they're doing an incredible job. The problem is, I think we need double the staff to accommodate, to just deal with the amount of people. So I feel like we have the staff to clean downtown based on like old numbers of usage or something. We need to double the number of people who are cleaning. The people who are cleaning are doing a good job. They're doing an amazing job. They just need more help. Likewise, the tagging all over the city. So one thing I will say is the murals in Denver are insane. I love them so much. Keep that coming. I love supporting artists. Please, please, please continue paying artists for their work and allowing them to share their work with us and use the city as their canvas. But tagging is different. You know, in case you're like, what's tagging? It's those annoying little squiggles that people do on people's art, actually, and buildings and sidewalks and street signs. Those stupid freaking little sprays on people's stuff. It's disrespectful. It tears stuff up. It looks tacky. It's ridiculous. I do know that there is a team of people who are hired on to clean this. Again, we need to double the staff. We just do. We just do, because it's gotten bad. And this is through no fault actually of the mayor. He just may not see it the way that I do. We just need more people to clean that. So I do applaud Mayor Hancock for having staff to do it. I think now we need to double the staff. It just, and that could be something that we hire on some people to do daily work, and they just, that's what they do during the day, is they clean that, they get paid, win, win, win. The other issue is connecting small businesses with staff that will stay. Now, this is a weird issue that we have here, which is there's so much opportunity that people will just leave quickly from jobs that could be really great. And I don't blame people for going to where opportunity is, but I feel like there's a number of people out there, Colorado-based citizens, Denver citizens, who would love to work, for example, in the restaurant field, but may need additional support because of housing. So they love working for whatever restaurant they're working with, but they're just like, you know, I love, the pay is okay, but I just can't live anywhere, and that's the issue. So maybe we find, maybe we create a housing program for people in the restaurant business so that we can keep people employed in that space. I actually spoke to a really nice guy with one of the well-known restaurants here in Denver. I actually told him, it was a little awkward, but I did this on purpose. I met him and he was so, so nice. And I'd actually had a negative experience at that restaurant. Come to find out, I wasn't the only person, but I'd had a negative experience at the restaurant a few years ago. So I knew that it was very likely that the staff had changed. And I'd met someone else from that restaurant as well, who was just as nice as this guy. And so with this guy, I was like, you're so nice that actually I'm going to go back to this restaurant because I had such an uncomfortable experience the first time. I've eaten at Frasca, I've eaten at Beano's, I've eaten around the state of Colorado. I enjoy a great meal, and I've always left feeling very welcome and happy to be there. The experience I had at that specific restaurant was I felt like I was unwanted there, and it made me really uncomfortable. When I met this guy, he was so amazing. I was like, I'm going back. And he told me, he's like, look, we've had turnover. There was feedback along these lines, and the person who used to manage this place is no longer here and hasn't been for about a year. And there are a lot of people like me. And I'm like, I'm looking forward to connecting with you. My point is this. We need to get people to work and stay in these restaurants so these places don't close because they don't have staffing. But that's going to be a multi-layered process. And I feel like it might get to the point where you create a program that creates stipends for people to work in these places so that they can train and build up and eventually take over them. And that's my cool idea, actually, that I'm sharing with you that you should take. Create some kind of housing thing so that people in the food services business can continue to be in those businesses, go from sous chef to chef, and not worry about housing as much as they do now. That was long-winded. The traffic. Okay, so here's the thing. Traffic sucks. I don't want any of you who are new to Denver to be like, oh, it's not as bad as like San Francisco or Chicago or LA. You're not listening to me. So when people say, people who grew up here, that the traffic is bad, we don't need you to tell us that we're wrong. We need you to be like, we hear you and we're sorry about that. And that's it. Like, don't say anything else. It's condescending. It's annoying. But the traffic, when you guys do that, but the traffic is legit really bad. Okay. And I'm thrilled to see that RTD has continued to finally expand the light rail, continue to work on that slowly but surely. Kyle Clark jokes about the train to Longmont opening in 2050. I feel like that probably would be the case. I hope that we'll get a train to Colorado Springs well before then. I feel like that is the trajectory for that southbound line that goes to Ridgegate Park and Ride. I've actually ridden that train all the way to the end, and it's awesome. It's also hilarious because the Park and Ride is there and there's a field, but they know how the growth is going to happen. And so it's smart that they've done this. My hope is they'll continue moving south to Parker and, move further south to Colorado Springs. It's just at the point where I would rather take the train to Colorado Springs and get a car share down there than drive that road. So hopefully that's something you guys will think about and start working on. There's so many things, but I'm going to leave on a good note, which is this. I love that there's free access to recreation centers for kids and for baby boomers. That's the coolest thing ever. I love that there are free events all the time. Like I said, Denver loves to party. I love that the light rail has expanded. It's taken for freaking ever, but it's happening and it's fantastic. And I actually see people using it in their daily lives. If they're going to games at Coors Field, or Mile High or what have you. They're starting to really really take advantage of the access that we have to public transit. I love the mood in the city. I feel like for the most part, people are pretty happy to be here. And for those of us who are like, you know what, we hate that Denver has changed. I understand that too, but things change. Ultimately, Mayor Hancock, I give you a solid B because I think that there are things you do need to do better. I think that you're a good guy who's been kind of, I don't even know how to say this. You're a good guy. I think that most people in politics, though, need to have a check and balance on how they perceive themselves. And I think this election was that for you. I hope that you learned from that, actually. I love that there are so many businesses that you've courted who are moving their headquarters here. And I love that for the most part, people who are moving here because they love the lifestyle that Colorado has to offer. That is it for today's show. Go to the show notes, squarestateceo.com/Dear Mayor to gain access to the different resources that I shared. Check out the Outlier Festival. It's the first of its kind podcast festival that will be held in the city of Denver, July 19th and 20th. I will be speaking at that event on monetizing your show. So hope you're having a great day. Please love the state, but don't love it to death. And I should say this, by the way. I have been to 45 states, and I will take growth over stagnation any day of the week. Because we have growth, we have opportunities, energy, and just things that can happen. There are downsides that come with that. I feel like that's another episode. It takes sometimes a generation to recover from stagnation. I don't want that to be an issue for Colorado-based citizens. I don't want that to be an issue of Coloradans. And so I will take the growth with a grain of salt. Have a good day. Take care. And thank you for listening.